In this video, you're gonna learn how to overcome your self-doubt in programming so you can be the best coder possible and achieve the things that you want to achieve. You see, over 300 million people suffer from some sort of mental disorder. And you may be saying, like, what does self-doubt have to do with mental illness? I'm not mentally ill. And obviously that's not the case, but it's important to realize that if you're constantly doubting yourself and you're worried that you can't achieve something, there is something wrong with the way you are thinking. And though it is not a mental illness per se, we have to change the way that you're thinking so that we can overcome this self-doubt. In my opinion, self-doubt is one of the worst things someone could have. It makes us think we're not good enough to achieve the things that we want to achieve and doesn't even allow us to take the first step towards our goals because of that self-doubt. Our minds are designed to protect us from danger, and learning a new skill, especially code, and going on an endeavor that is quite risky is gonna bring with it a lot of doubt. Now, there are 4 things that I did to overcome my self-doubt in programming. In no particular order, it's action, reminders, meditation, and progressive goals. So the first thing is action. In the book The Magic of Thinking Big, which is one of my favorite books, the author talks about how action is one of the only things that will help you overcome your self-doubt. And though it's easier said than done, by taking action, aka programming consistently and just trying to show up every day, it suppresses your mind because you are taking action. And over time, what will happen is, as a result of taking those actions, improving every day on your code and learning every day, you prove to your mind that you are good enough to be a programmer, you are good enough to learn. And personally, if you're gonna take something out of this video, take action. Try to ignore the things in your mind, and we'll talk about how you can ignore your mind in a second. But by taking this action, you're proving your mind wrong. So the next thing that helped me overcome self-doubt is reminders. You're not special if you're a self-taught developer. And that's important to know because there are a lot of us out there. There are self-taught developers that have started million-dollar companies. There are developers that have gotten extremely high-paying jobs. And most importantly, these self-taught developers taught themselves how to code. And when you constantly remind yourself that there have been people in your shoes who have overcome the self-doubt and who have overcome the trials and tribulations in programming, then it makes the entire process a lot easier because there's a new form path in front of you as a result of knowing that there are people that have gone before you. And by reminding yourself that people have done what you have done, it kind of removes that barrier and that restriction that your self-doubt gives you, because people have done it and there's no excuse for you not to be able to do it. Now, the next thing I did was meditation. And before you click off this video because I brought up meditation and I know you probably hate me talking about it, all self-doubt is a wrong way of thinking. You grew up with this wrong form of thinking and it's your job to change it. And the only way you can change the way that you think is by meditating. Personally, I like to meditate 10 minutes a day, but start with 1 or 2 minutes, who cares? And if you want to have a quick way of meditating, just sit down, close your eyes, and focus on your breath. Focus on the breathing, stay present, and every time you catch yourself thinking, come back to your breath, come back to your focus in the present moment. Trust me, this is one of the greatest things you can do for your self-doubt. And the final thing I did to overcome my self-doubt is progressive goal setting. Personally, when I started coding, I wanted to start the next, Google, right? I wanted to start this billion-dollar company that would make me rich as fuck. And though it's fine to have these high-achieving goals, someone that has never coded before, having that crazy goal just feels impossible right now. And it's important to realize that though that high achieving goal is good and you should have it, it's also important to have those short-term achievable goals in the moment. So for example, right, rather than thinking you're gonna start the next billion-dollar company, have that goal in mind, but also have those small goals like show up every day and code for a week, show up 4 times a week and code for 4 hours. Make a simple landing page this Saturday. I don't know. By having those short-term goals, you firstly don't feel like that end goal is impossible because you're slowly building up to it. And secondly, and most importantly, what will happen is when you're constantly achieving those short-term goals, you build momentum, you build confidence in yourself, thus leading to that self-doubt going away. And that is really how I overcame my self-doubt. Simply just showing up, taking action, meditating, and setting those achievable goals. And if you want to know how I became a programmer, check out this video.